Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Let's explore then language, ideas and themes in Emily Dickinson's Hope. So pause the video and have a look at the language used. Can you see symbolism? Can you see metaphors? What do you think the writer is trying to say? Sit, make a note of the key words, the key images, and then write down whether you think they're metaphors and what they might be metaphors for. Or are they key words? What are the connotations of the key words? So pause the video and have a go. Now we're going to do the same thing again. Pause the video and have a go. And now we're going to do the same thing again. Pause the video and have a go. Okay. Well, let's explore some of the initial layers of meaning in the poem. So let's start by thinking about, why is hope called the thing with feathers that perches in the soul? Well, Dickinson compares hope to a bird. There's an extended metaphor using the idea of a bird to represent hope. The idea is that something so small and vulnerable, like a bird, can highlight the qualities of hope. So small and vulnerable as a bird shows us that hope is a feeling that can be fragile. It's something very sort of sensitive. A bird perches for a very indefinite period of time. You don't know how long, and then can flutter away. So this verb perches shows that hope stays indefinitely as it's needed. A bird is also something that's very, very beautiful and lovely, and it gives freely to the world with its song. So Dickinson is also saying that the tiniest ray of hope can give so much in terms of beauty. Let's look towards the end of the poem, where Dickinson says, "Hope never asked a crumb of me." Well, Dickinson is saying that, like a bird who asks for nothing but gives so much, even in the storm and the harshest winter, hope also gives itself, in the most difficult conditions, to sustain a person, without seeking anything in return. She's showing that hope is selfless and not selfish, that it gives more than it ever takes, sustaining people and giving people resilience. Let's break this down then, section by section. So if we take this section here, and you paused and you had a think, why never stops at all? Well, it's saying that hope will be there as long as you need it. It never gives up. It never stops its song. It's always there. That nothing gets in the way of hope existing. When she says sweetest in the gale, she says that actually hope is at its strongest and most beautiful in a raging storm. And that contrast between the word sweetest and gale, because a gale is so violent, but something sweet and tiny actually becomes stronger and most powerful in a raging storm. She says sore must be the storm. It would have to be the very, very worst storm ever that could take away hope, that could get rid of hope, abash the little bird to make it feel uncomfortable, to make it feel so uncomfortable that it would go away. She says it would have to be a dreadful storm, like the worst storm in the world. And she reminds us that hope has kept so many people warm. When she says, "I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity asked a crumb of me." So when we think about the word extremity and it never asked a crumb, what is she saying? When she talks about extremity, is she talking about pain? Is she talking about, extreme pain and sort of discontent? But she says, never did it ask a crumb. It continued singing in the chillest land, the strangest sea. What are these things representing? Why chillest land? What does she mean? Why strangest sea? So what we're doing here is we're unpicking, aren't we, each word and the language. We unpick each word, each image, and then we look at the whole meaning. What is the meaning of the whole poem? And how does this extended metaphor of bird work its way throughout the poem to really create such a beautiful description of what hope is, something that's so difficult to describe. So I hope this has been useful. Very well done.